German officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I'm back with another video. I'm back in the Atma studio where we are continuing this series where me, Lozzie, Jimmy and Dan chat about, it could be a conspiracy, might be a bit of true crime down the road, we'll have to wait and see. But today I have brought for you guys Operation Paperclip. Now
Papa don't preach.
Operation Paperclip. Fucking hell.
Operation Paperclip.
Operation Paperclip, which is apparently a tongue twister, regardless of how I've just introed it, was fucking, in my opinion, wrong and horrific. Which, do you guys know Operation Paperclip roughly? It's all about the US and the UK governments and armies after World War II basically snapping up the German Nazi scientists.
Oh, I have heard of that.
Yeah, so it's the more you dig into it, it's just insane. So I've got notes on my phone, guys, so I do apologise, I'll be reading from my phone. But basically I did a load of research, scripted this all out, and I made it sound nice. So nice. I thought I'll read what I've written. So, as World War II was coming to an end, American and British armies teamed up and began recruiting German Nazi scientists, as well as the research and technological advancements they had made. German engineering and warfare technology had surpassed that of the British and American due to the fact that Nazi scientists had no boundaries nor regulations to abide by, therefore were able to fast-track testing of abhorrent substances and technologies on poor human test subjects. Right. So yeah, obviously the Nazis were leaps and bounds ahead because they had all these, internment camps filled with, all these innocent people that they were just doing horrific tests on. There's the I've done a video on Josef Mengele, the guy that used to test on the twins and stuff. Just absolutely sick fucks, like sick bastards doing this to people, but advancing science. And what gets me is the UK and the US were just sort of like, they didn't see, we should, get justice for these people. They just thought, fucking hell, they've made leaps and bounds. They've done the dirty work, but we can take it and move forward with that. Roughly 1,600 German Nazi scientists, along with their family, were brought over to be rehomed in the United States of America to work on America's behalf during the Cold War. The Nazi scientists quickly got to working on developing America's rockets, biological and chemical weapons. Another priority in utilizing the Nazi research and scientists was to ensure that the Russians did not get their hands on this research and technology, because obviously at the time it was the Cold War. It was always a race to whatever, whether it was the moon or the next technological advancement. So a lot of the US government's rationale behind it, where, well, I think it's best that it's best that the Nazis are on our side rather than the Russians. It just fucking, for me, it just beggars belief. It really does. President Truman, this bit's insane. President Truman sanctioned Operation Paperclip, but he did forbid any active Nazi members from being recruited, right? But officials within the JIOA and the OSS, which was the forerunner to the CIA, basically said, fuck that, we'll just go for the best, regardless of whether they are still active, like Nazi members, whether they really believed in the cause, etc. So they basically ignored President Truman's words and went to such lengths for these Nazi scientists that they brought them over to America. They destroyed and deleted any record of any war crimes or anything that they did. They gave them like a brand new start, regardless of what they've done, all in the name of advancing their own military and science, essentially, because they just felt that the intelligence of these scientists was more important than justice, basically. You've got Werner von Braun, who was the technical director at the Peenemünde Army Research Center in Germany. He was key in developing the V2 rocket that devastated England during the war. All the Blitz and stuff. This guy made the rocket, right? Werner von Braun and other rocket scientists were brought over to the US, to Texas and New Mexico, as War Department special employees to assist the US Army with rocket experimentation. Von Braun later became director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center and the chief architect in the Saturn V launch vehicle, which eventually led to 24 US astronauts to the moon. So literally, without him, he made such advancements within that space that America managed to beat the Russians to the moon.
Yeah.
He was sort of like at the forefront of that. During the Ford presidential administration, von Braun was almost awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So he was nearly awarded for his services to the US until one of Ford's senior advisors, David Gergen, objected because of his Nazi past.
Yeah.
You know, imagine an ex-Nazi getting like a fucking Nobel Peace Prize. You know, it's just beggars belief. Was it worth it? Some argue it stopped the Nazis from joining Soviet Russia, and that would have shifted the balance of power during the Cold War. Others argue the ethical costs of ignoring and erasing their horrendous war crimes from the records. Now, one of the most notorious cases of weapons of mass destruction proliferation, i.e. finding evidence of weapons of mass destruction, this bit's nuts, occurred on the 15th of May 1945 when the German U-234 submarine bound for Japan was captured off Newfoundland by the USS Sutton. The U-boat carried Dr. Heinz Schlick, director of naval test fields at Kiel, and the cargo included plans for the HS-293 glider bomb, the V-1 glide bomb, forerunner to the cruise missile, the V-2 rocket, forerunner to the Scud missile, the Me-262 fighter aircraft, which was the first combat jet fighter, low observable submarine designs, the lead-lined boxes filled with 12,000 pounds of uranium oxide, which is a key ingredient to atomic bombs. Schlick, who claimed to be an electronic warfare expert, became a prisoner at Fort Meade. So basically they seized one German submarine and found all of this insane blueprints and stuff for all these missiles and things that later on, you know, became things like the cruise missile. In 1949, the CIA created the Office of Scientific Intelligence. Its first director, Dr. Willard Maschel, traveled to Germany to set up a special program to interrogate Soviet spies. The CIA believed the Russians had developed mind control programs and wanted to know how US spies would hold up against the capability if caught. He also aimed to explore the feasibility of creating a Manchurian candidate through behavioral modification. Thus, Operation Bluebird was born. Bluebird later became MK Ultra, which is something that I want us to delve into at a later date. That was a research activity experimenting in behavioral engineering of humans. The Nuremberg Code prohibits experimentation with humans without their consent. During this program, Dr. Frank Olson, a US Army biological weapons researcher, was given the drug LSD without his knowledge, leading to his death by leaping from a building. DCI Richard Helms ordered much of documentation to be destroyed, and the circumstances of his demise remain controversial to this day. Now, modern day things that we have, advancements, just a few examples here, which are attributed to the Nazis, are modern day organ transplants, understanding of hypothermia and pain threshold, the TB vaccination, as well as cancer research and its links to cigarettes, which is why, did you know, the first ever anti-smoking advert was commissioned by Adolf Hitler himself. It was the Germans that discovered how damaging, how damaging smoking was to, the human body. But yeah, so that in a nutshell is my research on Operation Paperclip, and yeah, it's I think it's ethically it's difficult because you see, for want of a better phrase, the positives that we've got out of it, but these were very, very bad people. What do you guys think about, you know, Nazis being recruited?
It is difficult because you don't know how much of it was the regime and how much of it was their active thoughts and they wanted to pursue themselves.
Yeah.
So, if they're, all right, they're in a position of power because they're like leading people in the Nazi ranks, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they're being told by someone else to do this,
yes, yeah,
and,
of course, there is always that.
But you've said it yourself, left to their like own devices to do scientific work that doesn't involve like killing people and experimenting on people and basically throwing people to the wolves just to make some sort of conclusion about some substance. They're like producing things that are actually like world changing.
Yeah.
Like rocket, space travel.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fucking kill them.
Yeah.
We don't need.
I agree.
We don't need to go to the moon.
My thought after I did it. Oh no, do you know? After I did all of my research, and I did sort of ask the question, what is better, the technological advancements, and then you look at what those people did. I think that they should have just been executed on the spot. I know it's a bit, extreme, but a lot of them were fucking monsters, man.
I'm with Vlozzy as well, though. The fact that you don't know how much of it is in their control. Like if you let's say there's a Hitler running the UK, and they're like, right, take over us now. You're a scientist. You're doing this job.
Yeah.
Like you're being tasked to make this. If you don't, I'm going to kill you and your family.
Yeah.
And I'll just go to the next guy. So you're in that dilemma. I don't know, because obviously I haven't done any research on these guys, but like if they were all like proper mean, wanting to kill everyone, when they come to the US, surely regardless that would have carried on in the US. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of them were put on, like I said, that they were put into divisions within the US Army where they were creating and adapting and advancing their military, both biological and chemical. So that you could argue that perhaps they, some of them may have went over and, continued down the route of things like mustard gas, etc. But I just feel like they were given a free pass. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're intelligent. Okay, we'll forget about the fact that you've been putting Jews in a fucking gas chamber. You can come over and build our rockets and get us to the moon. It's just fucked.
Fuck 'em, mate. Just fucking
absolutely
just fuck 'em
fucked.
off, don't you?
I think so. I completely agree.
I think. I understand that, but then if you've done that sort of stuff, you just like you'd even want to, like if even if you'd been made to do that, like you'd even want to go over to America and you'd just be like, do you know what? Like I've been made to do this. I just want a peaceful life now. I've done bad things out of my control, but I don't want to carry on doing this sort of stuff. Like whereas they're they're cunts because they're just like, right, well, now I've got another opportunity to go and make more weapons. Like
exactly.
just,
work on more rockets and stuff. The other thing is, I know obviously the Nazi Party and a lot of the abhorrent things that they did is attributed to Hitler, but there were a lot of fucked up individuals underneath him, like Mengele that I mentioned earlier, that were kind of, in the name of eugenics and all this sort of shit, were really pursuing their own dark, deranged fantasies almost under the guise of this Nazi establishment, And so I think there would be argument for, I'm sure there were some that were just terrified of saying no, so just applied their intellect to whatever they were told to, but there were probably some evil bastards that slipped through the net as well.
I reckon it just got a bit of out of control. You know what I mean? It's just fucking no one. They was all just got into that thing of like, we've got to do bad stuff. And it's just the mentality took over. Yeah. And
it's a trick on it because it's either like
COVID, isn't it? It's like they don't really know what the fuck's going on, so they're all just making decisions of stuff that they don't know what's.
Just make it up as they go along almost.
It's like fucking.
Yeah, it just gets worse.
Yeah. If you're America, you've got kind of two decisions, ain't you? So you either, like say, you recruit them to stop Russians getting more advanced, or you execute them. Yeah. Is that an option?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Or at the very least, or
they're
at the very least,
they're not new to execution, are they? Let's face it. They know what's.
And also, and also, or at the very least, you know, you can sentence them for war crimes, and then they never released. You know, but
what would you do with their families, though? Would you give them any?
No, because I feel like that's almost like saying, you know, after World War II, go and arrest everyone that was German. You know, I think the people that were in positions of power, the people that were actively involved in the awful things that were going on, I think they should have been charged.
They should have made like a sort of a lab/prison, and it's like you're gonna spend the rest of your days in prison.
So that,
however. Because of the shit that you've done,
yeah,
you're also going to be working for us.
Yeah.
And
so it's like a best of both worlds.
So it's up to you. You can either we can kill you,
yeah,
or you can work and live out the rest of your life and help out the thing and we'll be open about it as well. Like these people have done this and that's why they're here.
Yeah.
Well, your families will go free, but you have to work for the rest of your life
because of the war crimes.
Because of what you've done.
Yeah, to be fair as well.
Being accountable.
There was like. You could keep everything hush-hush. Obviously, there's nowhere to research it. There's no internet. Everything's very propaganda. You get told what you get told in your papers.
Yeah.
No one probably knew. Like,
I think, I missed that one bit off. It was revealed. I think it wasn't revealed till... I think a few news articles popped up here and there with rumours in like the 60s, but it wasn't like declassified by the CIA till like the 90s, I think.
Yeah. So and then by that time, it's like, again, it's done, isn't it?
And
if you know that, obviously now if you did it, you know it's going to be, everyone's going to find out about it. Whereas back then they knew that no one would find out about it. So it's like, they're probably just thinking, take the best people at what they can do, you know, and then just.
But it's just mad that like
stop the Russians
a
getting them.
Nazi scientist ended up heading NASA.
Yeah.
And getting humanity to the moon. That's fucking insane.
There's like I say, there's probably even worse things.
Yeah.
About
no, I'm sure.
He didn't create NASA, did he? And NASA's not a giant Nazi organisation, is it? That it's gone under the radar.
They just changed two letters.
Changed 2 letters.
Yeah, fuck it, who knows?
They can't even get to Mars.
Yeah, no. I think Elon Musk will beat NASA to Mars for sure.
Yeah,
with flight, people on there.
He's gonna. Elon.
He's doing a live stream, isn't he?
He's gone above. What's his name? No, isn't he? Zuckerberg.
Has he?
It's taken over Zuckerberg. Yeah.
So get your stocks in Tesla, guys. That's a different series altogether. But I thought I'd just bring this to the table because it absolutely fascinated me, and it's just the dark part of history, I think. But yeah, something that's
really interesting though. Yeah,
and thought-provoking. And if you guys are at home, if you know anything additional about this, then I'd love to hear it in the comments. There was one thing, I think Von Braun has like a scar on his face, and basically that was from the Nazi lieutenants and stuff, like the captains or whatever you want to call them that are in charge. They used to have sword duels.
Oh, okay.
And having like a slash on your face was like almost like a mark of like you're a man, you're strong, because you've had a sword fight and you've been slashed in the face. So you saw a lot of these Nazi scientists and like lieutenants or whatever the fuck they are in the army with like all slashes and stuff. But it was a sign of power. So just random things like that just came out of the woodwork when I was researching. But yeah, if you know anything else, please do let me know, because I believe. I don't know enough about this, so I'm not going to go into it, but I think Egypt did the same as well. They tried to poach. Basically, everyone tried to poach these German scientists because of the advancement they made, because they had no boundaries. Yeah. They were willing to go to as far as it took to make these advancements. But yeah, boys, thank you for joining me. Sorry if I lowered the tone a little bit with Operation
Very interesting.
But yeah, it fascinated me, it really did. But guys, hope you're enjoying this series. As I said, I'm in the Atmos studios because we have a podcast, so go and check that out. That's the Allegedly Possibly Maybe podcast. Sorry, I needed to swallow there. We've got a website, allegedlypossiblymaybe.co.uk. All the socials is Atma Podcast. Of course, follow me as well on all the socials. Let me know by hitting that like button if you're enjoying this series. I will see you very soon, guys. Sweet one, geese.